Hello everybody and welcome to Ty Tiger Reacts. Of course, I'm your host Ty Tiger. Make sure you go check out Kevin. He's been doing some weird ass shit with smoothies recently, so make sure you go check him out. He's in the corner. Get yourself a cup of smoothie. Go get yourself some water if that's your cup of joe. And yeah, if you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on more reaction videos. Today we're going back to reacting to Tales of the Cornwall Institute. Now, if you don't know what this YouTube channel is, that you're living under a rock, you guys should really be checking out this channel, especially if you're a huge fan of shadow hunters or like supernatural stuff in general. This channel is hosted by my Parabatai, my best friend and my business partner, Cosplay Dude 637, and this is a story where he's taken our business partner from the Free Ranger Bros, Mark the Corner Stranger, and he's basically making a Cornwall storyline in the world of Shadowhunters. So it's based in Cornwall and stuff like that. So me and Cosplay Dude are kind of making like a Cornish verse, like a Cornwall verse. Basically putting Mark in different fandoms. Anyway, he's done a chapter 2. Now, of course, he's now started reacting to one of my storylines, Avengers Earth Last Alliance. So, when he did his reaction video chapter 2, I was like, darn, I have to catch up. So, we're here, we're reacting to Tales of the Cornwall Institute. Straight off the bat, bro, you misspelled Cornwall. So, guys, let me redo my intro. Hey, guys, welcome to Tales of the Cornwall Institute. Okay, this is called Chapter 2. How do you make holy water? I don't know. How do you make holy water? Isn't it just water that's, like, been blessed by God or something? Yeah. Anyway, let's dive in. This is a 20-minute long video. We're going to be here for a hot minute, so let's dive straight in.
Chapter 2. How do you make holy water?
Straight off the bat. Dude. I edit this boy's videos all the time and re-upload them to Tiger Tales. Okay, he does this. He needs to start saying the title of the story and then chapter 2. I mean, it's okay, I suppose, because this channel is only gonna ever have this story, but still.
Make sure to burn the hell out of it.
In the world of the Nephilim, there's a timeless adage that rings true: all the stories are true. But in the case of this tale, that saying holds more weight than ever before. In the quaint city of Falmouth, nestled within an old, run-down apartment house, resides a man unlike any other. While he may appear human, his true essence is that of a warlock with skin that shimmers like water. What is his name, you ask? Jan Tregeagle. Now, if you're familiar with British folklore, you may recognize that name.
Yeah.
In the ghost stories of old, Jan Tregeagle is portrayed as a Faustian figure.
Okay. So something else Cosplay Dude does, and I understand why he does it. I personally don't like it, but he uses the AI to read his stories, and you get that, you know, she's not saying the name properly. Oh, she is, but because it's AI, it sounds like I didn't even click on until she said it like 2-3 times. He actually uploaded a storyline onto Tiger Tales, funny enough, a Cornwall universe storyline. And I'm really tempted to say to him that from now on, I'll read the chapter for him, send it to him, and then he can edit it together. Only because I don't like the AI, I don't like it. I don't like the way it sounds. And yeah, then because you have certain scenes like this where they sound a bit funny, they sound a bit off. And don't get me wrong, I completely understand why he does it. I completely understand why he does it. He's a very busy man, he's a family man, he's got like 4 kids. He's got a wife, he's got a job, a very hectic job, he works hours on end and things. So I understand why he does it, but I personally don't like it. So I'm more than likely gonna tell him the next time he writes the Cornwall Saga storyline for Sword Art Online that he's doing on Tiger Tales now, so make sure you go check that out. Shout out to that. I'm gonna offer my narration to it, just so then I'm not having AI on my channel, because I really don't like it.
A lawyer who, driven by greed and ambition, sells his soul to the devil. His tale is one of tragedy and deceit, marked by the murder of his wife and the theft of an orphan's inheritance.
Ow.
Jan did not sell his soul to the devil. Instead, he is one of the Elder Curses, a rare and powerful warlock born from the bloodline of the Princes of Hell, specifically, the offspring of Leviathan, the ancient sea serpent.
Ooh.
Traditionally, there can only be 9 Elder Curses at a time, each representing the pinnacle of demonic lineage. Jan's existence defies convention, standing as a testament to the unfathomable depths of his infernal heritage. But Jan's story is more than just a tale of dark lineage. It's intertwined with the actions of Sinra, the enigmatic sister of Magnus Bane and daughter of Asmodeus.
Oh, damn, he's actually tied the two storylines together. Okay, so he has another Shadowhunter storyline. Funny enough, that's on Tiger Tales now too, which was it's a part of Storytime of Cosmic Dude 67, and in that, he's given Magnus a sister. Now, I don't know a lot about Shadowhunters, so someone shoot me if I've got this wrong, but I don't know if he has a sister in the books or not, but I know that in the storyline that he's writing, he's brought up the sister. Whether he's created it or not, I don't remember. But yeah, I like how that's a nice little tie-in.
Sinra's quest to liberate the Princes of Hell from their entrapment in distant realms sets in motion a chain of events that will alter the fabric of the supernatural world forever. Jan sits in his apartment in the lap of luxury, while the outside world sees only a rundown structure. That is just the glamour that Jan put in place. In reality, it's a luxurious mansion, a haven of comfort and extravagance.
Oh, so he's pretending to be like this rundown, dude who doesn't have a lot, when in reality, because in Shadowhunters they have something called glamour, which is to basically make it simpler for you guys. It's basically a mirage. It's an image that they it's like a spell. So he's made the building look run down, so no one goes near it. Nobody wants really to be anything like anything to do with it. And in reality, this dude's comfy.
Within the walls of his ostentatious abode, Jan revels in the lap of luxury, surrounded by the trappings of wealth and power. A heavy knock reverberated through Jan's luxurious apartment, interrupting the tranquility of his solitude. With a deep sigh,
I
he
timed that
rose from
good,
his
didn't I?
comfortable seat, steeling himself for the inevitable disturbance. As he swung open the door,
Dude, answer the goddamn door. He's knocked 3 times. How rude.
prepared to unleash a torrent of anger upon the intruder, his words faltered, frozen in his throat. Before him stood a figure of awe-inspiring presence, his very essence radiating power and authority. It was none other than his own father, the Prince of Hell, Leviathan,
Nice.
manifested in human form. For a moment, Jan stood in stunned silence, his mind reeling with disbelief at the sight before him. He had never expected to come face to face with the embodiment of his infernal lineage, let alone within the confines of his own home. As the weight of the moment...
Yeah, I guess it's not like Buffy the Vampire Slayer or Vampire Son, because in that, they have to be invited in. It'd be kind of cool if, hey, I'm your dad, right? I need you to do something. He's like, nah, I'm not going to invite you in. It'd be kind of cool if we did that, but sadly, that's not the rules in this universe.
settled upon him, Jan's thoughts raced, grappling with the implications of his father's sudden appearance. What could possibly have brought Leviathan to his doorstep? And what role would he play in the unfolding saga of Jan's destiny?
Are you not going to invite me in, my child?
Leviathan
Ooh.
inquired, his voice dripping with regal authority
Bro, I like the voice. Fair dues.
and a hint of disdain. Jan's response was a stammer.
Huh. What?
Leviathan let out an exasperated sigh, his patience wearing thin as he brushed past the stunned Jan with an air of superiority.
One would have thought your mother would have taught you how to treat a prince of hell.
He remarked, his tone laced with scorn.
Not gonna lie, it sounds kind of creepy. Fair dues.
Speaking of which, who was your mother again, my child?
As Jan's father
I've done so many bitches, I can't remember which one is your mother. Was it Jane, the redhead, or was it Sarah the blonde? As long as it's not that freak from the alleyway, we're all good.
Leviathan, entered the opulent interior of his son's apartment, he found himself enveloped in an atmosphere that echoed the majesty of the sea itself. The walls were adorned with intricate murals depicting vast oceanic vistas, where waves crashed against rocky shores under the glow of a shimmering moon. The furniture, crafted from polished driftwood and adorned with nautical motifs, exuded a sense of maritime elegance. Seashells and coral adorned every surface, while delicate glass sculptures of sea creatures sparkled in the soft ambient light. In the center of the room, a grand aquarium
That's not creepy at all, you know, just some dude walks into your house and everything just becomes an ocean all of a sudden. Like thing, that's not creepy.
stood as the focal point, its glass walls teeming with a kaleidoscope of vibrant marine life. Leviathan's gaze was drawn to the mesmerizing dance of the colorful fish, their graceful movements echoing the fluidity of water itself. The air was infused with the scent of salt and sea breeze, transporting Leviathan to the depths of the ocean with each breath. Soft strains of oceanic melodies filled the room, adding to the ambience of serenity and tranquility. Jan's heart pounded in his chest as he watched his father, Leviathan, stride confidently into his apartment. A tumult of conflicting emotions surged within him, fear and awe as the door clicked shut.
Pardon me, but can I ask you a question?
No.
Do you
No, not ask me any questions. Fuck off.
love comic books, but you just don't have the time to read them? Well, do I got a podcast for you. Nerds Through Comics, presented by the Red Cornish Ranger, takes present and some old comics and adapts them into an audio drama for you, the listeners, to enjoy. So, if you love comics as much as I do, go check out Nerds Through Comics on all your podcast stations.
Okay, two things. First off, that's our buddy Mark. Yes, it's spelt throw. It's an ongoing joke because they misspelt it. But yeah, it's Nursery Comics, and Nursery Comics has been a great platform. So far, it's really good. Mark is currently on a slight break because he is editing a whole bunch of episodes in one, so he can drop one, wait a week or two, drop another one, wait a week or two, drop another one. So that's really cool. He's doing different stuff now as well. And also saying that, we've also got some things from myself on there. He also is associated with some other people that he uploads their content on. But yeah, so he also puts up Power Rangers Global up there, which is a 3 Ranger Bros storyline. So make sure you go check that out as well. And yeah, it's a good podcast. It's a good podcast. Blah. Also, I've got to mention we're all voice actors for Mark too, so you hear all our voices, mine, Cosplay Dudes, his family, and all that jazz.
Mark sat at his desk, surrounded by stacks of reports and requests from his team. The air in his office was heavy with the weight of responsibility, the quiet hum of activity serving as a constant reminder of the demands of his position. Suddenly, the shrill ring of an old-fashioned black phone shattered the silence, cutting through the monotony of paperwork. Mark's gaze
Can I just say, I really like that, just like that sound effect. I love the old noise that phones used to make. I miss them.
lifted from his papers, his brow furrowing in apprehension. There was something ominous about the sound of that particular phone ringing, a sense of foreboding that sent a shiver down his spine. With a sense of trepidation,
Hello, this is Mark. Hello, Mark. You forgot to pay your internet bill. Oh, fuck.
Mark reached out and lifted the receiver to his ear, the line crackling with static. As he listened to the voice on the other end, his expression grew increasingly grave, his mind racing with the implications of the message he had received.
Hold on, Alec. What do you mean Leviathan is in Cornwall?
Mark's voice was laced with disbelief as he leaned forward, gripping the receiver tightly. Alec's response came through the line, his tone urgent.
Yes, there's a warlock named Jan Trajeagle here. He's been a resident of Cornwall for as long as I can remember. Rumour has it he once bidded for the position of High Warlock, but he was ultimately defeated by the current High Warlock.
Mark's eyes widened in shock as he processed Alec's words.
Why is it, right? Whenever stories like this come to be, why is it there's always a witch, warlock, spellcaster who always kicks another witch, warlock, spellcaster's ass, and then that specific ass-kicked person ends up becoming a bad guy? Like, why is that a thing? I don't know.
What?
he exclaimed, his voice rising in alarm. Jumping to his feet, he paced the length of his office, his mind racing with the implications of Alec's revelation.
Leviathan is the father to Jan? That would make him an elder curse.
The gravity of the situation hit Mark like a
Dun dun dun!
thunderbolt, sending a chill down his spine. The presence of an elder curse in Cornwall was a cause for grave concern, and Mark knew that he would need to act swiftly to address the potential threat it posed to the safety of the Shadowhunter community. With determination etched upon his features, he hung the receiver back on the base of the phone and walked over, picking up his cell phone. In days gone by, the Clave would have frowned upon using cell phones, opting instead for Mark to send fire messages to all the members of his institute. However, with
Can't tell me what to do. I'm gonna use my phone, bitch.
Alec running things and being the Parabatai to Jace, Simon Lovelace, the Parabatai of Clay Fairchild Harndale, was able to convince Alec to embrace the modern age.
That was a lot of names spelled out.
As a result, all institutes had been updated with computers, and all members were equipped with their own cell phones. With a sense of urgency pulsing through his veins, Mark sent out a blast text to all members of the institute, instructing them to report back and meet in the war room at once. As responses...
What if you have no signal? What if you have no signal and you don't get the text? Then what? What if one of the characters decided to go for a long trail up a mountain and just didn't have signal? Y'all be fucked then, wouldn't ya?
flooded in, confirming their readiness. Mark wasted no time. He turned on his heel and strode purposefully down the hall to the library, his mind already racing with plans and strategies. Entering the library, Mark wasted no time. He immediately set to work, pulling every book he could find on Leviathan and the Elder Curses from the shelves. Dust swirled in the air as he sifted through the ancient tomes, his fingers tracing over the faded spines and weathered pages.
Dusty.
Each book held a piece of the puzzle, a fragment of knowledge that could prove invaluable in their fight against the looming threat. With each volume he added to the growing stack at his side, Mark felt a renewed sense of determination coursing through him.
Riddle me this.
Me, hi!
What do you get when you get 3 Power Ranger fans who also write Power
A bunch of fucking nerds who could have done anything better of their time.
Ranger fan fictions and upload them on separate podcasts and YouTube channels, and you happen to put the 3 of them together and they form a unique Power Ranger storyline? Here's your answer. You get the 3 Ranger Bros, who is myself, Ty Tiger, the Red Cornish Ranger, Mark, and the Cosplay Dude 637. We are the 3 Ranger Bros, and we came up with the idea called Power Rangers Global, a storyline where 4 different Rangers from different universes team up to save Universe 2118, a universe ruled by the gods. Now, if you want to hear Power Rangers Global, you can find it on Tiger Tales, the YouTube channel, and Nerds Through Comics, the podcast, and you can find that podcast anywhere that podcast can be listened to. So one more time, that's Power Rangers Global on Tiger Tales, the YouTube channel, and Nerds Through Comics, the podcast.
So if you guys didn't catch that, I write a story called Power Rangers Global for the 3 Ranger Bros, which is myself, Cosplay Dude 637, and Mark the Red Cornish Ranger, and it goes on Nerds Through Comics, the podcast, which we saw earlier, and Tiger Tales, my YouTube channel, just in case you missed it.
As the shadow hunters of the Cornwall Institute gathered around the carved wooden table with the true map of the world carved in it with the shadow hunter home country of Idris, the atmosphere crackled with tension. Ace, looking every bit the seasoned warrior, sat with his arms crossed, his demeanor bristling with impatience.
This better be damn important. I was tracking a rogue werewolf.
That voice actor for Ace. Man, he sounds sexy. Whoo! Damn, son. Sounds like a good voice actor. Like, damn. I like him.
Snapped, his frustration evident. Daisy, ever the voice of reason, rolled her eyes at Ace's outburst.
You're always tracking something these days. And you have no time for us.
She pouted, her tone tinged with reproach. Isla chimed in, her voice calm and measured.
It works for us. We were just in the training room,
she said, casting a sidelong glance at Kylie, who simply nodded in agreement, reclining in her chair. Logan, his demeanor tense and defensive, interjected gruffly.
Yeah, well, I was patrolling the shadow market.
He barked, his eyes flashing with defiance.
Why? There was no report of trouble there.
Daisy questioned, her brow furrowed in confusion.
He's just hungry. Wanted a light snack. Thought he'd go down to, that market because it's cheaper.
You can't trust downworlders.
Logan spat, his words dripping with disdain. Kylie couldn't help but snicker at Logan's comment.
You sound like that Valentine guy from the history books,
she remarked, her voice
Ouch. Valentine's the main bad guy in Shadowhunters, one of the main bad guys in Shadowhunters. So that's just a diss, man.
Tinged with amusement. Mark entered the room carrying a stack of books, his expression serious.
Actual Mark has never done that in his life.
Valentine Morgiston was a madman and a terrorist. His views were wrong, and yet his legacy persists in our history books. Why is that?
He questioned, his voice heavy with concern.
People need to know their past so they do not repeat it, and we, the Nephilim, are no different.
Daisy
There you go. AI. It's Nephilim, not Nephilium. I don't like it. I'm sorry, I just don't. I'd rather, cosplay dude ask me to narrate it or something. I'm happy to. Tales of the Cornwall Institute and Sword Art Online Cornish Saga. I'd rather narrate the both of them if he's willing for me to. And for the love of God, man, please correct this fucking title. Because it's not Cornwall now, it's Cornwall. Mark, the Red Cornwall Ranger. Just like Mark, the Red Cornish Ranger, but this time round he beats people up with dildos.
Explained, her voice calm but resolute. Logan's face flushed with anger at Daisy's words, his fists clenching at his sides.
The Kingsmill family in every one of the battles against Valentine and his bastard of a son. I'm not saying he was good or just, but he wasn't wrong about downworlders.
He retorted, his voice dripping with bitterness. Daisy countered, her gaze unwavering.
If you believe that, why did you go to the academy? It's led by a former Shadowhunter and a downworlder,
she pointed out, her tone cutting like a knife. Logan's face turned even redder with rage, but he remained silent, his arms crossed defiantly as he slumped back in his chair. Mark,
The really funny thing is, Logan's actually named after my son. And Daisy's based off my fiance. And the funny thing is that when they said, "Oh, Daisy turned and had this stern look," Nia doesn't do that per se, but she definitely has a frown on her sometimes. She definitely has this frown on her. So I the look is true, and Logan just getting hot-headed is a thing in a way. That's nothing new to me.
Sensing the tension in the room, intervened before the situation could escalate further.
I didn't call you all here to talk about politics. We have a very big problem,
he stated firmly, laying the stack.
We have nowhere for the piñata. Jesus Christ.
Of books down on the table and taking his seat, his expression grave. Ace sat up, his interest piqued at the mention of a problem.
What have you got for us, boss man?
He inquired.
Yeah, sounds like Ace to want to get involved.
His tone eager. Mark sighed, shaking his head.
First off, I asked you to stop calling me that,
he replied wearily. Ace
Just to let you know, and this is towards Cosplay Dude and throughout, that I'm going to use Boss Man now for the entire thing. Even if he doesn't add it in, I'm going to add in Boss Man somewhere in the lines that I know are directed at Mark. I'm going to do it, I don't care. That's funny.
Smirked, undeterred.
Not gonna happen, Boss Man.
He quipped, his smirk widening. Mark rolled his eyes before continuing.
Very well. I got a call from Alex
Mark's like, fine, I'll accept it.
today.
He explained, his voice serious as he relayed the details of the situation to his team. As Mark finished speaking, a sense of bewilderment settled over the members of the team, each of them processing the gravity of the revelation.
An elder curse here.
Daisy
Yikes.
murmured, her voice trailing off in disbelief.
Bugger off about the curse. What about the fact that the Prince of Hell is here?
Ace interjected.
Fuck that, dude! We have a Leviathan character around. What are you talking about?
His tone laced with incredulity.
I thought the princes could not come to this reality fully.
Kylie asked, her brow furrowed in...
You see, they have to go for a ritual to get home. So the deal is they can come to Earth. They just have to eat a stocky biscuit first.
confusion.
That was until Cinera happened.
Mark replied, his tone grave as he recalled the events that had shaken the Shadowhunter world.
Yeah, about that. How can a Prince of Hell have 2 elder curses?
Isla questioned, her expression reflecting the collective concern of the group.
Once the New York Shadowhunters get their hands on her, I bet they'll beat it. I mean, ask her.
Ace responded, his voice tinged with anger.
I think the most important question is, what are Jan and Leviathan planning?
The prospect of confronting a Prince of Hell and the mysteries surrounding the Elder Curses weighed heavily on the minds of the Shadowhunters of the Cornwall Institute.
Psst! Hey, you! Yeah, you!
Me?
No, you right there!
Me? Cool.
Are you a fan of Power Rangers?
Yes.
Do you like listening to people just randomly talk about all kinds of subjects?
Yeah.
Well, then I got the podcast for you.
Ooh.
Zero to Hero, the podcast. Jim and Billy, the bulk and skull of podcasting, talk about everything from Power Rangers to Gundams to who has the better hairstyle. These guys don't care. It doesn't matter to these guys. They will talk about it. You need to go check them out. That's Zero to Hero, the podcast. On Apple, Google, Spotify, you name it, they're on there. So go check them out. Trust me, you'll enjoy it.
By the way, there's a podcast called Zero to Hero, ran by our dear friends Billy and Jim. Tiger Tales, Nursery Comics, Storytime, this, all the stuff that we do is kind of like tied to them. We're like partners with them. And everything kind of leads back to Zero to Hero. I actually met Zero to Hero through Mark the Cornish Ranger. Through Zero to Hero, I met Cosplay 267. Through Cosplay 267, I met his son and his wife, who are now my voice actors. Without Cosplay 267, I wouldn't be doing Tiger Tales. Without Zero to Hero, Mark wouldn't be doing Nursery Comics. Then through all of that, we wouldn't have like become best buds and became the Three Ranger Bros. Without Mark being in Zero to Hero, we wouldn't have met Jared, who is If You Did Get a Podcast. Without him, I wouldn't be doing my podcast. Yeah, it's all like a big web, and Zero to Hero is somehow just in like some form of the center, like in the center, just off to the left, diagonally, like south slightly. Yeah, it's all down to them. They're a great podcast. I've been a guest a couple times. So is Woody. So is Mark. Yeah, they're just fun dudes.
At Pendennis Castle in Falmouth, Leviathan strode through the ancient halls with a sense of dark purpose, his son Jan trailing behind him like a shadow. The air crackled with an aura of malevolence as they made their way to the chapel, the echoes of their footsteps reverberating off the stone walls.
Why are we here, Father?
Jan's voice quivered with apprehension, his eyes darting nervously around the dimly lit corridors.
There is someone here I seek to speak with.
Leviathan replied, his tone laced with menace as they entered the solemn sanctuary of the chapel. Leviathan's lip curled into a sneer as he surveyed the scene before him.
These useless mortals with their pointless ceremonies.
He says, and with a low growl of contempt, he raised his hand, and with a flick of his wrist, the pulpit went hurtling through the air, crashing into the wall with a deafening splintering of wood.
Fucking rude.
Leviathan's eyes gleamed with malevolent delight as he tapped the back wall of the chapel 3 times with his finger, the sound echoing ominously in the silent chamber. With a click, the wall slid open, revealing a hidden room beyond. A wicked smile spread across his lips as he stepped through the threshold, Jan trailing behind him. The room they entered was a sorcerer's sanctuary, filled with an array of arcane tomes and magical ingredients. At its center, encased in what appeared to be glass, lay a young man with shocking blonde hair, adorned in regal hues of purple and gold. Jan's eyes widened in astonishment as he took in the sight before him.
Who is this, Father?
Jan asked, his voice tinged with curiosity and apprehension.
He is the son of an old friend. I believe the mortals called him Mordred.
Leviathan replied, his...
Oh, okay. Bringing Mordred into this. All right, I see. All right. Okay. So something that we're trying to do with this Cornish verse is kind of just put Cornwall back on the map of storytelling. You know, put Mark on the map of storytelling. So there's someone who's linked to Cornwall called Murdoch Redroof, and I'm using him as the villain in my Far Cry storyline, which is based in Cornwall. Obviously, Mordred is also in English folklore and stuff. So it's just something fun to do.
His tone laced with a hint of malice as he laid a hand on the glass enclosure. But as his touch made contact, he recoiled in pain, his hand burning from the touch of the glass.
This Animus!
He snarls.
The stone of heaven.
Jan breathed, his shock evident as he gazed upon the shimmering surface of the glass.
I have never seen so much of it in one place.
This, my son, is why I brought you here.
Leviathan declared, his eyes gleaming with dark purpose.
Now free him!
This podcast is a production of...
Damn, okay. So they're about to free Mordred.
The Three Ranger Bros Studios, in association with Zio to Hero, the podcast.
Thank you all for listening to that story. I
You're
hope
welcome.
you enjoyed it.
I did.
Just a reminder that all my fanfictions are just that, fanfictions, and does not mean to infringe on the mainstream continuity that it's from. Now, I'd like to take a little bit of time to thank all those that support me. First off, you have the Three Ranger Bros Studio, which consists of myself, CosplayDude637, my Parabatai and dear friend, Ty Tiger, with all his YouTube channels, Tiger Tales, and his new podcast, the Tiger Nexus Podcast. Then, of course, last but definitely not least, we have Mark, the Red Cornish Ranger, with his podcast, Nerds Through Comics. And then there's the guys at Zio to Hero, the podcast, Jim and Billy, the bulk and skull of podcasting. Anything nerdy you think you have ever talked about, I guarantee they have an episode about it. So definitely go check them out. Then we have Jared over on If You Give a Data podcast.
One of the best podcasts out there at this moment in time. He's interviewed some fantastic people recently. Voice actors, wrestlers, literally just everyone nerdy and geeky under a form of an umbrella or two. So make sure you definitely go check it out. It's been really good.
An amazing guy, a dad, like myself, that just loves talking to nerdy people about every subject. So definitely go give him a listen also. Then there's Jacob, aka the Iron Avenger, on TikTok and Instagram. We also have to give a shout out to Ben, the Baker Ranger. And last but not least, there is Tony, our good friend. And an honorable mention to the late, great Rebel Ranger, Sam.
Yeah.
We love you, we miss you. Every person I just mentioned is a member of the Zio to Hero network.
Yeah, okay. I'm not gonna let him finish because he just rambles on about who else is connected. Did that in the last video. Anyway, I like the way it's going. There was no mention of holy water though. Did you notice that? You called it "How do you make holy water?" But there was no connection to holy water. I mean, okay, cool. What was I gonna say? That's it. Yeah. I like where this is going. Mordred is gonna be a part of it now. Well, it looks like Mordred is gonna be part of it at least. That's kind of cool. Chapters don't need to be all exciting and fighting and all this jazz. And sometimes I like it when he does things like this because he is actually a really good story writer. And I think he worries about fight scenes a lot. And so it kind of takes away from the other scenes because he's too focused on the fight scenes because he believes he's not good at them. And so sometimes it's nice where there is no fight scenes and then his stress level ain't there. And then he's really good at, writing characters and stuff, like the little conflict between Daisy and Ace there, that was kind of cool. Mark butting in going, whoa guys, we're not doing this for politic reasons, shut up. Anyway, I'm going to talk to him, well, he's eventually going to watch this anyway, but I am going to talk to him about narrating the Cornish saga of Sword Art Online, the storyline that's on Tiger Tales now, and Tales of the Cornwall Institute, see what he says. Because if you'd prefer me to do it, I'm happy to do so. I'm still going to react to it. I don't like listening to my voice, but I'll happily react to it still. Just so then, like, words get pronounced properly, like Nephilim will get pronounced properly. I can then also do my Ace voice within that, so all he'll have to edit is my Logan voice, because I'm the one who voices Logan, because my Logan voice is slightly pitched. He can do that. And then, if the AI is okay for voices, female voice actresses are extremely hard to find sometimes, so it's okay for voices, but for narration, sometimes it just ain't great, and I personally don't like listening to it, so I'll see what he says, hopefully he agrees, and then maybe in the next one, chapter 3, we'll better bump up the audio. It'll just sound better because it'll be someone naturally talking, someone naturally reading it to you. And like I said, I completely understand why he does the whole AI thing. I completely get it. I 110% get it, But I prefer when he reads his stories. I like the way he reads it. I think I'm just going to offer my narration to him in general, for any of his storylines, really. But anyway, I really enjoyed that. I like the way this is going. Again, nothing too hyper major happened in the chapter. Doesn't need to be. We had some conflict between the team. And then we've also learned who the main bad guy is, kinda. We don't know if this is going to be like the biggest bad, but this is definitely the bad for now. And of course, Mordred, he's part of England, English folklore, history and stuff. So that's really cool. Like for me, the biggest thing of Mordred is in Merlin, a TV show. So like, stuff like that. Anyway, hit the like button if you haven't already, subscribe if you're new, hit the notification bell so you guys don't miss another video. We're of passion, everybody. And of course, make sure you go check out Tales of the Cornwall Institute. You can watch chapter 1 and chapter 2. And make sure you check out Storytime with Cosplay Dude 67, which is a playlist on Tiger Tales where you'll find more of his storylines. Make sure you check out Marvel Universe 19, another YouTube channel, which you'll find more of Cosplay Dude's Marvel-related storylines. Then, of course, there's Power Rangers Universe 19, which, by the way, Marvel 19 and Power Rangers Universe 19 are the same universe. Power Rangers Universe 19 is a podcast, which, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever, where you'll find storylines of Power Rangers and Kamen Rider, written by Cosplay Dude 67. I also host a couple stories on there, and so does Mark the Cornwall Ranger. And then we've got Sailor Moon E, which is like this, where it's one specific storyline, and it's of course based off Sailor Moon. And it really focuses on Tuxedo Mask, so if you like him, then make sure you definitely check that out. And then we have The Order, which is his own unique storyline, which is all based off, something that he's made up, which is his own original story. And then there's the One Piece audio drama, which again, it's like this, where it's just one chapter dedicated to one storyline. So make sure you check out that as well. If you like One Piece, then you'll definitely like that too. A lot of what I just mentioned has voice actors. Not all of them, but a lot of them do. So you'll definitely pick up on a few voices. And yeah, make sure you go check it all out. He's a really good story writer. He deserves all the love and praise that he can possibly get. I'm looking into what other storylines I can react to. I know that he just dropped a storyline on Nostalgia Time. So, which is his other YouTube channel, which, again, he uploads stories that was nostalgic. So I might react to that one. I'm not too sure yet. I'll see. Anyway, I love you all. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell so you don't miss another reaction video off me. Go check out Tiger Tales, which where I write storylines and upload them. Go check out the Tiger Nexus podcast, which is my podcast, drops every Monday, where I interview content creators and we geek out about stuff. Love you all, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Bye!